A very good afternoon from the Perth Hockey Stadium, where it's a beautiful day here in Western Australia. 19, and it is Westside Wolves who finished in 4th place, taking on Fremantle, who finished in 5th place on the ladder. You can see the ladder there, and it was a fairly close affair. 38 points for Wolves, 38 points for Fremantle, and they only just moved ahead on the goal difference. And Fremantle, who top in the table at the start of the season, really letting it slip again in mid-season. Well, before we get the match underway, we're going to hear from players from both sides. And first up, we're going to hear from one of the young guns at the Westside Wolves, and that is 22-year-old Matthew Edgar. Coming into the final round of the season, you knew you had to win to book a place in the finals, recorded a good 3-0 win over Wasps. Do you feel that that's when your finals campaign started?
Yeah, for sure. We knew it was a big game. We tried to beat Uni the week before, didn't go to plan. A bit of pressure on us in the last round, but we got the job done, and we're excited that we kind of got that first final down and focusing on Fremantle next.
If you look at the finals lineup again, as a team, you've probably sort of snuck under the radar a bit because all the other teams have been vying for top spot with the exception of Wasps. But I mean, do you feel now you are the dark horse?
Yeah, in a way. I think you can look at it that way, but our group, we've kind of believed in ourselves the entire season. We feel we can compete with anyone in the league. And yeah, we are excited at the prospect of being the dark horse, but yeah, we're going to take it week by week, I think.
The one thing that's worked in your favour is you've had a very strong defensive performance all season, conceded the least goals. Is that something that you worked on pre-season?
Absolutely. It's our main focus this year coming in. We've had Rich Charlesworth helping us out, looking at our defence in a few different ways, and Fraser and some of the other boys in the back there have done really well this year, and keeping clean sheets and keeping the goal count a lot further down than previous years.
Do you think that could be the key in finals, that if you don't concede and you can sneak a goal?
Absolutely. Good defence is key, and better offence is also it helps as well. But yeah, defence is a big priority for us, and we're excited to see what we can do with it.
Well, thanks for your time and all the very best.
Thanks very much, mate. Cheers.
Well, that was Matt Edgar from the Westside Wolves, one of their young players coming through their development program there, although he did actually move across from Suburban Lions back in 2014. Well, their opponents today are Fremantle, and the man we're going to catch up with now from that club is a man who's been there a long time, has a long association with the club, and is their captain, James McPherson. Well, James, Fremantle are in the finals once again, but you had everyone on the edge of their seats going into that last game, needing a draw to secure yourselves a spot in the finals. How nerve-wracking was it going into that last league match?
Yeah, it was nerve-wracking, exciting, disappointing, I suppose, from where we were at the start of the year. But, you know, these things happen, that's sport. Hopefully we've timed our run perfectly, and we're coming good at the back end of the year this time.
We talked to you earlier in the season. It's almost a case of deja vu this year in the way you lost momentum mid-season. I mean, what was that down to?
I'm not too sure. We'd love to know exactly what it was, what we can put it down to. But I think we're doing things a little bit differently. We tried to rest guys, give guys some time away from hockey. Really conscious that we want to peak in September rather than June. But the proof will be in the pudding whether we got it right or not.
Well, going into the finals, do you look at the opposition or do you just concentrate on your own form, knowing that if you play well and to your potential, you can match anybody?
No, we certainly give Wolves the credit they deserve. They've beaten us twice this year. So we've done a little bit of homework with them. But yeah, absolutely. We're backing ourselves in 100%. And we think if we play to our potential, then we can get through the first week at least.
Well, we've spoken to you before, and the club's got a lot to celebrate with a name change coming up, moving to a new ground in 2020. How important is this finals campaign so that you can start a new era off with a new club name and a new ground and give it the perfect start?
Yeah, it's super important. I think as our group gets a little bit older, we've got some wonderful players at the club at the moment. And for the club to have some success is really, really important for what we're trying to do in the future.
Well, James, we wish you all the best.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, that was the captain of Fremantle Hockey Club, James McPherson, and they'll be looking to try and go one better than they did last year and get a victory in this match today. As we turn our attention now to the team lineups, And the players to look out for, in my opinion, coming into this match, for the Westside Wolves, number 7, Dane Gavranich. Well, he is a gun from penalty corners. He's just been selected for the Sultan of Johor Cup in Malaysia, and so he will be a danger man. Also number 8, Simon Bonetti, he too from penalty corners. Will Bias, wearing number 15, has been a really good acquisition for them, one of their imports. And you feel that George McGeoch in goal for them, wearing number 30, is going to have to be on his mettle, because you just get the feeling there's not going to be too many goals in this match. Turning our attention to Fremantle, well, they're going to rely on their experienced campaigners, former Kookaburras Matthew Butterini and Simon Orchard, wearing 2 and 3. Nicholas Tate is their forward amongst the goals. He's their leading goal scorer with 10 goals in the season, and I feel he is going to be crucial, along with Tim Bottler, and also coming off the bench, Kieran Abbott, wearing number 25. Well, Westside Wolves are coached by Mark Keating, Fremantle by player coach Matthew Butterini. I'm Ashley Morrison, looking forward to bringing you all the action today from this elimination final. Our umpires will be Daniel Johnson and Jordan Moore. We would like to thank our sponsors as well, which are FMG, Ausdrill, Danks Furniture, Tiger Turf and Kookaburra. And thank them for their support throughout the season, and just to let you know that they will be supporting us, bringing you all of the finals games for both the men and the women in 2019. Well, I was saying I don't think there'll be many goals, but 32 goals scored between these two teams in the last 6 meetings. So that's averaging 5 goals a game. But you just feel that this could well be a really tight one, because you're coming up against the strongest defence, as we heard there. Westside Wolves conceded the least goals in the league this year. They've only conceded 35 goals in 22 matches, and Fremantle are the lowest scorers in the top 5. So you just feel maybe goals could be really hard to come by. But then you never can tell when it gets down to finals, because anything can happen. And you just think maybe one of these teams will break out of their shell and give us a display that we weren't expecting. Massive for Fremantle, as we said. They open their new facility this week at Lakelands Hockey Centre, and as of next season they'll be known as Fremantle Coburn Hockey Club. So they will be moving down to Coburn, and hopefully that will give them the chance to tap into some of the players that have been produced in the southwest, especially in the Peel region around Mandurah and Rockingham. Westside are already out there, as James McPherson now leads out his players. Fremantle in the black and white. They'll still be known as the Magpies. They're not going to give up that name easily. And of course their goalkeeper, Johan Durst, part of the Kookaburra setup. Sure, he would have rather been playing over in Rockhampton in the Oceania Cup, but at the moment he's got a job to do here for his side, Fremantle. Very popular player down at the club, and they were very happy to get his signature. Can he keep them alive? McGeoch, on the other hand, at the other end of the pitch, is again an up-and-coming Australian goalkeeper, played for the under-21s, and he'll be looking to force his way into the Australian setup. Well, Westside Wolves get us underway. And immediately the ball thrown to the air. Darryl McCormick brings it down inside his circle. He's put under pressure immediately by Elliot Barton. Fremantle trying to play it out, caught the foot of Bonetti. Bonetti's arguing with the umpire in the opening minute. Hopefully that's not a sign of things to come. And I think Simon Orchard is just being pulled back because he didn't actually stop the ball. So the last time we were covering Fremantle, they were dismantled by Wasps. Wasps, well, they were dismantled by Hale today. So the winner of this match will play against Wasps on Thursday night here in Western Australia. Hale winning that game by 5-3, and they go through to meet Melville. Melville, of course, topped the ladder. That game was played at a fair pace, and we'll just have to see if this one has. It's certainly started quickly. That's a lovely pass forward. It's also a very good tackle from Butterini, just taking the ball away from Oscar Charlesworth. Bonetti. Fremantle clear it up the side, but good movement from Westside Wolves around the circle. And for those of you just wondering, Oscar Charlesworth is indeed the son of Rick Charlesworth, who's been helping, as we heard, with the defensive duties of Westside Wolves this year. Probably has a lot to do with the fact that both the men's and the women's teams have conceded the least goals in both competitions. Trying to turn was Barton, but just left the ball behind. Orchard takes a tumble, and now's a chance to break for Gavranich. Gavranich cut infield, Butterini takes the ball away from him. And his ball forward, well, it just split the two forwards. Tim Bottler had just moved to the right-hand side as that was played through the middle. So Will Bias plays it forward now to Ed Welsh. Barton, good skills being shown by him now. Calling for the ball wide, but it's going to be a free hit. Barton apologising, saying that he didn't see the run of Welsh, and a penalty corner has gone the way of Westside Wolves. No complaints from Fremantle. Wolves have scored 16 goals from penalty corners this season. So when you consider 16 out of 65 goals throughout the season, it's not been their mainstay for scoring goals, but obviously a crucial part of the game. And lining up at the top is Will Bias at the first battery, and second is Simon Bonetti. Comes out, goes to Bonetti, run down brilliantly, although the body was used, so it will be a second penalty corner for Westside Wolves. So Barton makes his way down to the baseline. Same players lined up at the top of the circle. Goes to Bonetti again, and it's gone in this time, just beating Simon Orchard on the post. And Simon Bonetti opens the scoring with a penalty corner for Westside Wolves. And that is just in the 4th minute of the match. So the perfect start for Westside Wolves. Just what they would have wanted. Simon Bonetti was on the score sheet when they met in round 10. Scored from a penalty corner, and Wolves won that match by 2-0. They also won in round 15 by 4-3. So they have had the ascendancy over Fremantle in 2019. Riley folds over the ball. Just coming off at the moment down below us is Darryl McCormick, shaking his head, obviously frustrated they've conceded so early. And well, Bonetti was just caught by Orchard, and Orchard's going to get a card. Green card. I think Orchard did catch him. I think Bonetti made it look a lot worse than it actually was. Simon Bonetti, who is a twin, his brother James in the side, and has been a Wolves player his whole hockey career. Lovely run, trying to find the foot, just trying to dink that back was Matthew Edgar. Didn't get the decision. Trying to come out of defence now is Andrew Walker. Walker gets a whistle, and the umpires have conferred, and in the end it is going to be a penalty corner for a foot, so Edgar's appeals have been upheld. And Wolves get their 3rd penalty corner, and we're only in the 5th minute of the match. Let's not forget that Fremantle are a player down, so they're going to need one of their forwards to come back and help out in the defence. Simon Orchard is off. So suddenly realising that and coming back to help out the defence is Andrew Walker. So Simon Bonetti again waits at the top of the circle alongside Will Bias. I think Will Bias is looking like he's saying where he wants the ball stopped. But it goes to Simon Benetti again. Good save this time from Durst. Straight down the middle. Abbott kept that one alive for Fremantle as they played it out of defence. Didn't want to turn it over or let it go over the side, as that would have given Wolves another platform on which to attack. So Walker goes back into the defensive line. Fremantle still down to 10 at the moment. Desperate coming out of defence from Fraser Gilly. It was a good steal by him. Barton on the ball now, plays it into the body of Walker, and then a little bit overzealous, pushes Walker in the back. And Walker has a few words as he walks past. Barton gives him a friendly smile. Riley Folds. Good little push to James McPherson, the captain. McPherson looking to come infield. Lovely turn from him in the end. He just left Joe Kenny in his wake. There's a strong blast on the whistle. Obviously something off the ball. I'm afraid I missed that one. The ball played forward, but easily collected in the end by Wolves. Brilliant steal from Butterini, though. Butterini looking to just feed it to Marat. Marat slipped, though, at the vital moment. So it meant Barton. That was brilliant by him, just behind his back pass, and that's a super pass to Simon Benetti. Benetti now gets the chance to advance on goal. Tom Keating was the ball player who faded it across and missed in front by Durst, was down on his body. Matthew Edgar was right in front of goal. And Fremantle back to their full quota of players now. Josh White pushes it into the midfield. McCormick back on. That was asking a great deal from Harrison Keema. And again, that was, well, a wasted ball from Wolves, just turning over possession. Riley Folds again, looks to cut infield there, away from Fraser Gilly, still going, and was eventually dispossessed by a good tackle from Tom Keating. Trying to turn infield, and, well, there was a foul. Well, I think that's a pretty valid point there. I think Josh White is saying, well, Simon Orchard got a green card. Surely that was a green card. And I have to say, I thought he was deliberately impeded there. Marat collects wide on the left-hand side, plays it into the circuit, comes all the way across and eventually just swept clear out of defence by Wolves. Well, it was desperate defending in the back line coming from Harry Paul, but he did really well to just sweep that one out of the circle and get it away. Well, it's won by Edgar again. Edgar into the circle, looks to lay it back. He's laid it back too far. Walker got a touch and managed to get it to Butterini. Butterini then getting in a right old tussle with Gavranich. Takes the free hit quickly, plays it wide to Declan Spencer. Spencer trying to feed it forward to Bottler, but Fraser Gilly is the player who comes up with the ball, and Tim Bottler is penalised. Fraser Gilly over the ball at the moment. Fraser Gilly hails from Dunsborough in the southwest of Western Australia, was part of the 2016 National Futures squad and also the Under-18s Futures squad. A little bit of space for Will Bias. Lovely pass on the reverse stick. And it came off the pads of Johan Durst, and so it'll be a long corner, but Bias showing great technique, getting really low and putting plenty of pace on that reverse stick pass. It's going to break just outside the circle to Keating. Keating collects and then looks to take on Viran Marat. Stolen away. Good tackle coming in from Nathan Lawler. Nathan Lawler, whose nickname I'm told is Nobby. Not quite sure why that would be, but it is. Over the side it goes. Will be Harry Paul to play the ball in for Wolves as we're fast approaching the final 5 minutes of the first quarter. It's one goal the difference between the two sides at the moment. Simon Benetti scoring in the 4th minute. And a goal in the 4th minute in the last game as well. Butterini looks to play on. Lovely little sway of the hips takes him away. Then a reverse stick pass is a really good one to Tim Bottler. Bottler keeps it alive, then offloads it inside the circle. Played forward and play on. Oh, a deflection at the back post from Morar, just wide. Well, you just wonder whether McPherson should have had a crack himself when it came to him at the top of the circle. And again, bodies going down all over the turf. James Benetti, I think, was the one who took a tumble then. Fremantle playing it out from the back, across the back line. Can they keep that in play? He's left it almost on a plate for Wolves. Played forward, Bottler coming back, but stolen away from him by Ed Welsh. And Welsh has got the free hit. Ed Welsh, one of the Englishmen, hails from Watford and went to Watford Grammar School for Boys. Goes over the top. Brought down by Will Bias. Will Bias, of course, coaching the women's team. So he's got plenty of duties currently for Westside Wolves. Tate appeals for a foot. No is the call from the bench. McPherson, well, he should get the foul there. Certainly appeared as if Lucas Ward came through the back of him. Lucas Ward is another player from the UK playing for Westside Wolves. Actually attended Oakham School, which holds a special place in my heart as I made my first 11 debut against Oakham School when I was a schoolboy. Of course, it is in the smallest county in Britain, in Rutland. We're in the last 3 minutes now of the first half. Fraser Gilly over the ball. Good turn from Barton, being chased all the way. There was a hand in the back from Chad Giles. He got away with that, and that was a little bit too much from Gillian. Gilly's telling Barton what he thought of that pass in no uncertain terms. Taking their time from the side. Chad Giles plays it forward. Butterini brought it down brilliant. Then it just caught his heel. But he's going to get the free hit, I think, because the Wolves player just encroaching into that 5 metres. Darryl McCormick makes his way forward. Benetti's going to have to move out of that space. He did in the end, but Riley Folds didn't bring it under control on the reverse stick low down. So Wolves get the chance to attack. And attack they are doing. Into the circle it goes. Great ball to the baseline, laid back. Shot is taken away. Great defence again from Darryl McCormick. That is absolutely first class. It looked really dangerous and he just kept his eyes on the ball, got the ball and took it clear. Simon Orchard now manages to pick out Tate. Declan Spencer pushes it forward, kept in play by Chad Giles. Very cramped down the far side, and in the end Lawler has to go back, and it's going to be a card issued to the Wolves player. So they will be down to 10 for the start of the second quarter as well. Simon Orchard goes to McCormick. Orchard again, who has that ability to push from defence into the midfield, and when he does, he just adds that extra player on the attack. And being such a great passer of the ball, has the ability to unlock defences. Scanning as he made his way forward now. Nothing on as Wolves flood their defence at the moment. Played square, comes wide to Riley Foles in the shadows as they lengthen from the grandstand. Back to Orchard again. Orchard looking what's available. Being pressured by Barton, takes on Barton, then pushes the ball wide to McCormick. Barton goes to close down McCormick. McCormick dribbling his way into the circle, takes a tumble, gets the free hit. Well, they need to play on quickly. Butterini looks to get on with it. Barton's in his way, and he's going, well, he's just stopping me taking that. Played back now to Orchard. Orchard plays it to Riley Foles. Foles needs to get the ball in. He does get it into the circle, but Wolves have got players there. They clear it. Now they've got a chance to counter-attack. Barton goes past Orchard. Barton's got space now to carry it forward. A really good break forward coming from Keating, if he can find him. Keating, though, is now closed down inside the circle. Good defence by Fremantle, getting numbers back, and the hooter goes, and that is the end of the first quarter. But it's been a really lively 15 minutes. Both teams happy to run with the ball, happy to attack, but it's a penalty corner that separates the two teams at the moment. Simon Bonetti's goal in the 4th minute means it's Westside Wolves 1, Fremantle 0. Welcome back to the Perth Hockey Stadium, where the players are just, well, we've got Westside Wolves in the sun, Fremantle in the shade, as the second quarter about to get underway. Fremantle losing at the moment by 1-0. This is the elimination final, so they'll want to get goals in this match. Just like to acknowledge our sponsors, FM Gill, Osdrill, Kookaburra, Tiger Turf and Danks Furniture for their support of the live stream. Can Fremantle find a way back in this match? Didn't manage to defeat Wolves at all in the regular season. In fact, you've got to go back to March 2018 for the last time that Fremantle managed to get a victory over Westside Wolves. And that was 3-1. Matthew Butterini, Riley Kahn and Kieran Abbott, the goal scorers that day. It's a free hit, though. Lucas Ward looking to get on with things. In the end, leaves the ball behind. Carried forward now by Ed Welsh. Plays it wide. Comes back to Welsh. A lot of pressure being put there on Charlesworth. And the ball knocked away by McPherson, and Wolves players wanting to see a card. That's going to be a 16 to Fremantle. Orchard again carries out from defence, just pressured by Simon Bonetti. Butterini combines with Orchard, both those players becoming fathers in 2019 after getting married in 2018. Just a little bit too far ahead there. The pass for Chad Giles to bring it under control. So Wolves get the chance. Barton again, another touch from him, and Riley Foles looked to steal it. Barton's got it back though. Barton just poking it ahead of Foles, and then Butterini steps forward. Well, I think Butterini's tackle was fine. It was the follow-up tackle from Chad Giles was the problem. Anyway, free hit. It'll come wide again to Ed Welsh. Welsh carries forward. finds Charlesworth. Charlesworth spins and ball just taken away again from Fremantle. Orchard snuffing it out in defence. Chad Giles goes back to McPherson. McPherson down the line of Chad Giles. That was a really good pass, and there was a little bump again. Fraser Gilly, the culprit that time. Riley Folds just knocks the ball ahead of himself. Butterini's going to pick that one up, keeps it in play, then lays it back to Folds after drawing two players. It's going to break inside the circle. Chad Giles was there, but didn't manage to get the shot away, and that's a foot. So good work in the end by Chad Giles, but it was a really good tackle inside the circle. Just broke up the attack for Fremantle. So their first penalty corner of the match, and they've now got a chance to pull back another goal. They scored 13 of their goals from penalty corners this season. And if they score this, it will be their 50th goal of the season. As I mentioned, the lowest goal scorers in the top 5. So McPherson makes his way to the baseline. Butterini is lining up at the top of the circle. Alongside him as well is Tate. So Nick Tate at the second, Butterini at the first. It's going to go to Tate. Tate flicks low. Good save. And another penalty corner. So McGeoch saw that, I'm sure, through the legs of all his defenders. But he got his pad to it. So Tate walks back. I'm sure he'll be the option again. McCormick crouches down to do the stopping for him. Goes to McCormick, takes a step. Now it was straight into the legs. It's going to break for McCormick. Should be, and it is, another penalty corner. Will it be third time lucky for Fremantle? Slightly longer conversation in the huddle this time around. Butterini at the first battery. But they go again to Tate. Tate leaves it for Butterini. Butterini was looking for a deflection at the back post, but it just caught the foot of Alistair Park, the postman. So it will be another penalty corner for Fremantle, a fourth. So it was a good variation there. So again, McPherson makes his way to the baseline. Tate just stretching his back, almost using his stick like an axe. Butterini shifts slightly to the left. It comes to Tate again. He flicks low. Good save once more. And it comes from Butterini. And over the side it goes. McGeoch doing his job for Wolves. So it's a long corner now. Giles wanted to get on with it quickly. Didn't get the ball on the 23-metre line. Plenty of defence back. Finds Butterini. Butterini swivels. Gets the ball into the circle. Gilly collects and plays it over the sideline. McCormick now collects for Fremantle on halfway. They've kept bodies forward. McCormick carries it forward, tries to draw Bonetti with him. Now goes back to Simon Orchard. They're really making Bonetti work as he goes in between the two players. Now McCormick has a little bit of space down the right-hand side. Shaped as if he was going to go to the baseline. Continues his run. Shapes as if he was going to hit it across the face of goal. Eventually he did. And McGeoch just let it run all the way across the pitch and out of play on the far side. Will Bias comes across, just takes his time, just tries to break the momentum of the match and then just flicks to the air. Will give possession back to Fremantle as it goes out of play. Orchard self-passes. Bonetti's in front of him, but he manages to get the pass forward to Josh White. White, though, is giving possession away, and Wolves have got numbers if they broke quickly. Keating looks to give it back, and he does. And there are problems now for Fremantle. That was a very important touch from Simon Orchard to take the ball away from Will Bias. Bias probably with the wrong option. It might have looked the better option, but there were bodies to his left, and they were in space. Easy to say from up here, though. Will Bias, who's actually played his hockey for a number of top clubs, currently with Hampstead and Westminster. but he started at Beeston, had a couple of years there, and made his actually league debut for Doncaster. Murad just slipping, he gets a free hit, so Riley folds in the shadow of the main stand, goes back to Walker. Comes back to Orchard again. Doing the hard work now in the forward line is Matthew Edgar. Gilly comes out and good defensive play. Got a little bit of a touch. Alistair Park cleans up behind him. Barton, beautiful skills again from him. He's really excelled in this opening 20 minutes. And that's a great pass as well as Wolves come forward, but well read by Walker to carry out from defence. Gilly, though, did well. Butterini, oh no, it's Chad Giles. It just caught his foot. Wolves, when they turn defence into attack, they look dangerous. Joe Kenny with the free hit. Gilly. And unfortunately, there's nobody in that space. Just a reminder that thanks to our sponsors, Kookaburra, Tiger Turf, Danks Furniture, Osdrill and FMG, we will be bringing you all of the finals from the Premier 1 grades, men and women, in 2019. So stay tuned with Hockey WA, and of course Thundersticks memberships are for sale at the moment for the new Hockey 1 national competition. And also the Olympians and Charlesworth Medal Night is coming up in just over a week's time. So if you haven't got your tickets for that, make sure you get those. It's wide open. Who could win the most coveted award in hockey in Western Australia in both the men and the women's competitions? Gilly shows a lot of the ball as he broke forward, but Keema didn't get there, and then that's a strong challenge coming together, and Benetti's in trouble. Well, I don't think there was anything malicious. Lawler took the brunt of that, as Benetti was the meat in the sandwich. Nathan Lawler in a bit of pain as well. The physio's coming on. Hopefully it was just a stick in the shoulder and that'll come off with a bit of ice or something, but he looks to be in a lot of trouble, and hopefully he's not popped his shoulder. But that does not look good, the way Simon Benetti is carrying himself off the field. Well, we'll try and keep you up to date with what's happened with him. He's the only goal scorer at the moment in this match and is a key weapon for them from penalty corners. His penalty corner in this match taking his tally to 13 goals for the season and 9 penalty corners. So they wouldn't want to lose him. Leading goal scorer for the club as Butterini plays it forward. Declan Spencer cuts infield, looks to release it to Nick Tate. Tate tries to play it square. He just got it away from Gavranich. In the end, though, too many players back for Westside Wolves, so it has to come back to Orchard. Orchard then gets into a tussle with Barton. Elliot Barton, who was part of the Southwest Academy of Sport and used to play for Southwest Strikers down in Bunbury. And that's a good steal again. Fraser Gilly stepping out, winning possession back, and just over the side it goes off the Fremantle stick. Comes wide now. James Benetti plays it forward. And not happy with the call from the umpire. Tom Keating lets his frustration find a voice. Butterini is going to flick it across to the far side into the sun. Brought down very well. Walker, good pass from him. Keema, and unfortunately just too narrow. But it will be off the goalkeeper's pad, so long corner. Taken by Walker. Comes back now to McCormick. Darryl McCormick looks to play that to the near post. It was a good lead, in fact, from Tim Bottler, but the angle was all wrong. So Bias now gets low down, cracks that one forward. You could see who that was aimed for. It was aimed for Oliver Harding, but unfortunately the touch was taken away from Harding by Joe Kenny. So we're approaching the final 5 minutes of the first half. It is a cagey affair here at the Perth Hockey Stadium. The crowd growing as the afternoon has gone on. Fremantle, who led the league ladder for the start of the season. Bias trying to pull away from Tim Bottler. Got the pass to Fraser Gilly. And then Fremantle again just let it slip, and in the end it had to go to the very last game for them to qualify for the finals, depriving YMCC from the chance of contesting the top 5. So they would not want to bow out now in this elimination final. In fact, neither team would want to bow out now. Westside Wolves, who finished 4th, will feel maybe that they deserve a second chance against Wasps on Thursday night. Orchard carries to halfway. And he's quite happy to attack as well. Well, that was Charlesworth. It was the back of the stick. Asks what was that for. Nick Tate tries to go on a run. He's impeded then by Lucas Ward. McPherson now for Fremantle. And off over the side it goes. Comes back to Simon Orchard from Nathan Lawler. Now Darryl McCormick will fire that one to the edge of the circle. Collected well. Tim Bottler manages to find McPherson across the face goal. McGeoch lost it, and then over the baseline, and a penalty corner has been given. Well, McGeoch lost that momentarily. It was just sitting in front of him. Nobody there for Fremantle, though, able to pounce. And the penalty corner conceded. So this will be Fremantle's 5th penalty corner. 3.5 minutes left in the first half. If ever there was a good time to score, this would be it. McPherson takes the ball again down to the baseline. Nick Tate lines up. Looks as if he may be the sole player. Just I think it's Harrison Keemer at the first battery. Goes to Tate. Didn't really get hold of that. McGeoch has struggled to sweep it away and played it into the postman's foot. So that was unfortunate. James Bonetti couldn't get out of the way, and McGeoch just playing it straight into his foot as it was planted. So Keemer at the first battery again, Tate at the second. They go to Tate again. This time he gets hold of it, but it's wide of the post. And it's a touch obviously taken off the first runner because a long corner has been awarded to Fremantle. McGeoch wasn't too happy with the decision. I think he felt it was just a shot that had gone wide from Tate. So Orchard has Darryl McCormick wide in the shadows. He gets it to him. McCormick, though, is closed down immediately. Nowhere to go. It was good work coming from Will Bias. Orchard again. McCormick got Bias in front of him once more. Has to go back to Orchard. Charlesworth now looks to close down Orchard. McCormick has Bias in front of him, but he manages to get the pass down the line. Harrison Keemer looks to cut in, beat one. He's got a free hit for Fremantle, and then, well, the ball was just pushed away there by Oliver Harding. Fremantle have taken it. Comes out of the shadows into the sunshine. McCormick again. Will Bias ahead of him. Low down. Edge of the circle. And that was a push in the back on Marat. Viren Marat just on the edge of the circle. Now McPherson moves it 5 into the circle and played it into the turf. It was a good shot, and that looked as if it was, well, the shot is actually deflected off for a long corner. So still just over a minute left. Brought under control by Josh White at about the second or third attempt. Comes to White again. Numbers forward for Fremantle, but the defenders all standing in front of those attackers. Not that much movement. McPherson goes back to White again. Mora's got ahead of his defender, but the passage to him was blocked. Comes wide now to Tate. White again, and Orchard's taken up a good position inside the 23 metres. Orchard looks up, plays a square ball to Nick Tate. Tate now in the shadows of the grandstand finds Mora. Mora just got a little touch on that. In fact, no, he didn't. It was just taken away from him by Lucas Ward. So long corner as we enter the final minute of the first half. White, good sustained possession by Fremantle. Comes to Orchard again. Orchard plays it to the baseline, looking to get it across the face of goal. Bottle up and off the pads. And it's going to be a 16. So Fremantle, for all that possession they managed to hold, have not managed to get the goal before the half-time break, and time is going against them at the moment. Fraser Gilly plays it out wide to Gavranich. Gavranich carries it forward. Plays it infield, intercepted and cut out well by Josh White. White looks to feed it to Butterini. Too short though, and well read by James Benetti. One back again by James McPherson. McPherson finds Orchard. Orchard looking to help it forward. Morale gets it, but be a free hit to Westside Wolves on halfway, and that may be the last play of the first half. In fact, it is, as the hooter goes. So it's been a fairly cat and mouse affair, this match, as you would imagine, because elimination is on the line, but there is still just one goal separating the two teams. That is Simon Benetti's penalty corner in the first quarter. As we head into half-time, it's Westside Wolves 1, Fremantle 0. Welcome back to the Perth Hockey Stadium, where the umpires are making their way back out for the second half of this elimination final. At the moment, Westside Wolves winning by 1-0. The question is, can they hang on to it? Can they find a second goal? Goal scorer Simon Benetti has left the field of play. We're still trying to find out how serious his injury was. He had it coming together and looked like he just got a stick, caught him in the shoulder, and hopefully didn't fracture his collarbone or something like that. But anyway, it will be Fremantle to get the second half underway. They too looking for a goal to get back in this match. Oh, their season will be over, and Fremantle Hockey Club, as it's known, will wave goodbye as they become Fremantle Coburn Hockey Club in 2020. Nick Tate pushes back, gets the second half underway. Butterini just feel he was involved in the first quarter, drifted out in the second, and they need him very much involved in the third and the fourth. It was a good spell of pressure by Fremantle late in that second quarter, but the problem is, of course, they are, as I mentioned, the lowest scorers in the top five, and they're playing against the team with the best defence in the league. So Westside Wolves very hard to break down as Butterini plays the ball towards the baseline. Fremantle got on the end of it, cleaned up at the back though by Alistair Park. Fremantle get it back. It's ricocheting here, there and everywhere, and then eventually over the baseline. But it claims a touch, I think, off Chad Giles' stick. Means it's going to be a 16. Giles now being told to make sure he's 5 metres away. Bias comes wide to Fraser Gilly. Gilly gets the return pass. That was well played between him and Lucas Ward. Butterini and Fraser Gilly now penalised on halfway. Well, Orchard's thrown that one to the air, and it's gone all the way through to Giles. Giles is inside the circle, cracks it across the face of goal, but Tate was still arriving. Giles just needed to maybe look up and time that one, and he would have timed it then to the arrival of Tate. Nick Tate, who moved from Melville in 2018 to Fremantle. He scored the equaliser in that game against YMCA last week in the 48th minute to make sure Fremantle made the finals. So Tate knows about scoring late in games as Orchard just shepherds that out. Well, I'm not sure how Simon Orchard could be penalised for being 5 metres there when he was... the ball had actually come down. That is a mind-boggling decision in my opinion, but anyway. McPherson for Fremantle goes back to Orchard again. Riley folds. Well, he did very well actually, because he had nowhere to go and he's still going, and then eventually gets a little bump and goes to Grant. Oliver Harding, player penalised, goes to the air, jumping up and bringing that down was really well done by Will Byers. Now it's Gilly with a little bit of space. Gilly in a foot race at the moment with Declan Spencer. McCormick, though, steals the ball away, spins away from Gilly. Gilly then gives him a bit of a bump, and Fraser Gilly's going to have to watch, and that's about 3 fouls now in quick succession. You can just see the umpires reaching for their pocket. The next one, if it comes too soon. Folds almost lost that one through his legs. In the end, it worked to his advantage. Barton, though, that was a clear stick check. Barton's not happy the decision didn't go his way, but he clearly caught Riley Fold's stick with his stick. Orchard plays the ball square. Comes back to Orchard. Barton looks to close him down. Orchard accelerates towards the ball to give him that space. White takes a deflection over the side. It goes. It'll be a Fremantle ball. Shadows lengthening here at Perth Hockey Stadium. Good movement from Kima inside the circle. Butterini made a good run as well, but the ball was played behind him. It's going to be won back by Tate. Tate was determined to get that ball off Harding. And now Tate will get the free hit. Tate makes way. And coming on is Kieran Abbott. Tall, rangy young man. Immediately goes on a big circle round the back to try and creep in behind the defence. Barton took a deflection as Orchard tried to play it square, and through the legs it goes. That was a really good bit of play. Breaking forward now. Oh, and Barton just lost it. And McCormick can't believe he didn't get a free hit. I have to say, I thought that was a little bit wild from Barton. He'd lost possession of the ball, swung his stick, hoping to keep possession. And you must be responsible. But Will Byas combining well with Elliot Barton. Comes wide now to Riley Foles. Harding, good tackle this time. Well, no, it's not a good tackle. This time, Foles gets the decision. So Butterini makes his way forward for Fremantle. Self-passes. He gets the decision again, this time for a foul from Harding. So Butterini, short pass. Abbott plays it into the circle. Well, there was a clear push there. The arm was extended from Welsh into the back of Moraa. Moraa doesn't complain too much. To be fair, though, the umpire inside the circle would have struggled to see that. That's a good pass forward. But you just feel there's a little bit of niggle coming into this match. As you would expect, so much on the line. The season will be over for the loser. And the longer it goes on, and 1-0, dangerous scoreline, and it just one mistake can turn the game. Well, they looked that time to be a little bit of a push in the back from Riley Foles. So let's call that evens. Foles certainly had his forearm in the back. Oh, I think it's Simon Benetti on the far side. No, it's, apologies, Matthew Edgar. And Simon Orchard in conversation with the umpire. Josh White pulls away, plays it forward, collected well by Will Byas. Byas then carries it forward, tries to release it to Barton. Chad Giles does well to steal it back for Fremantle. And good work being done by Harry Poole to win it back for Westside Wolves. It's a little bit scrappy at the moment. As I say, it's a little bit of niggle coming. There's a bit of talking going on between both sides. And the challenges are getting more and more physical. So Orchard cuts infield, pursued all the way by Matthew Edgar, gets the foul from Edgar. So Orchard now places the ball in the sunlight. Eventually we have the free hit, and again Barton comes along and has to be a free hit. Butterini creates a little bit of space. That's a very good tackle on the edge of the circle. And brilliant play in the end coming from James Benetti. Benetti still has the ball, manages to feed it forward now to Edgar. Edgar's got space, pushes it forward, but unfortunately can't be kept in play. Goes off the side from Gavranich, and it was a little bit off the ball as well with between Edgar. I think it might have been Riley Foles or even Butterini. So now it's Joe Kenny. Leaves it behind. Accelerating forward is James Benetti. Benetti keeps going, gets to the baseline, flicks it across. Good work from Walker. Walker plays it square. Comes back in. It's been missed, though. That's a bad miss. Edge of the circle. Declan Spencer, and there's a little bit of trouble. Inside the circle comes Gavranich. Across the face of goal, saved by Durston. Oh, it's lifted into the back of Riley Folds. And Folds is in pain, not surprisingly. Turned his back, and it just caught him between the shoulder blades. Well, Folds is up and about, and I think he's going to come off and get some ice on that. Riley Folds, who actually made his debut when we streamed the first game last season. He's a fourth generation of the family to play for Fremantle Hockey Club. His great-grandfather, C.A. Folds, a founding member. Goes back to Lawler. McPherson closed down again by Barton, who is becoming like a irritating fly on a summer's day, just buzzing around the Fremantle defence. And a misplaced pass that time from Lawler. Sees possession given back to Wolves as we're about to enter the final 5 minutes of the third quarter. Still just that one goal, the difference between the two sides. Simon Bonetti, who we have not seen come back out since he took that blow to the shoulder. Brought down by Orchard. Orchard now pushing a little bit further forward as the time begins to tick away. Tim Bottler doesn't keep it in play. And another attack comes to naught for Fremantle. Wolves very solid at the back, very disciplined as Will Byas carries it forward, gets the pass, then carries it forward again, finds Harry Paul. Harry Paul, strong in the tackle, gets the better of it, and it's played behind him. And in the end, it is a free hit to Fremantle. So White to Orchard. Well, Keema just lost it for a second and must have just clipped his foot because it's a free hit to Westside Wolves. Comes now to Joe Kenny. Wide it comes now to Ed Welsh. Welsh plays it down the line and a chance for Barton to cut infield. Barton runs directly across the pitch, gets the foul from Josh White. And the ball's come on from both sides of the pitch, so hopefully one will go off. So Kenny over the ball, slips. And it will now be a Fremantle free hit. And you can see the physicality coming in there. Just a little bit of a shoulder from Declan Spencer going into the body of Harding. Fremantle probably do have a slightly more experienced side, and you just wonder when those, as the game starts to slip away, that physicality and just knowing how to get away with things may work to their advantage. Certainly it seems to have rattled a few of the Wolves players as the game has got more physical, as Butterini looks to play that one in again. It goes right the way across the face of goal, took a touch, and so it will be a long corner. Over the ball for Fremantle as McPherson plays it square. Josh White now will try and play that into the circle. Goes instead wide to Lawler. Lawler gets it to the penalty spot. Moran never got it under control. The clearance, though, goes straight to Orchard. Orchard pushes it wide. Andrew Walker now will play it back into the circle. No touch again from Fremantle. Both those balls into the circle played towards the penalty spot, and well, that was played on very quickly. Caught everyone by surprise as Will Byas broke forward. Gilly throws it to the air. Brought down by Harding. And that's a very good block from, I think it was Lawler. It was indeed. Josh White closed down by Harding. He's pushed the ball a long way ahead. Touch cone from Keating. Goes back into the sunshine, and a little bit of a push after from Walker as Morar plays it forward now. Byas involved again at the back, keeps the ball under control, carries it forward. The former England under-21 player. Now bursting forward is Charlesworth. Charlesworth just dropping the ball behind him. keeps the attack alive for Westside Wolves. It comes to Charlesworth again, lays it back, top of the circle. Defence comes and steals it, but, well, it was a foul inside the circle in the end from Westside Wolves. And, well, first of all, the 16 wasn't taken from the 16. Then the ball was deflected off the Westside Wolves player, and yet it's a Westside Wolves ball from the side. So we've had a comedy of errors there. Comes back to Will Bias. Gilly. Battarini gets a touch, can't keep it in play. Final 30 seconds now of the third quarter. Still very, very cagey match. Still on a knife edge. Either team could win it. Bias gets it to Fraser Gilly. Gilly looks to turn and pull away from Chad Giles. Cracks it to the top of the circle. Orchard read that one well. Plays it now to Tate. Tate needs to get it forward if they're going to attack early. Bottler, good lead from him, but followed all the way by Will Bias. Down the line it goes, and unfortunately Battarini for Fremantle cannot keep it in play. And the hooter goes, and that is the end of the third quarter. Well, this has really been a nip and tuck match, as you'd expect in an elimination final, but there is no change to the score that we had at the end of the first quarter. Going into the final break, it is Westside Wolves 1, Fremantle 0. Well, the shadows are lengthening here at the Perth Hockey Stadium, but the scoreline isn't. It is still 1-0 to the Westside Wolves as we're about to enter the final quarter. Fremantle need to find a goal if they're going to keep their 2019 season alive. They're in a huddle down below us, and they really do need to find a goal from somewhere. If it's 1-1, we go into extra time, sudden death. But at the moment, the resolute Wolves defence keeping them at bay. And you can just see in shot there, I think that is indeed Rick Charlesworth. Yes, it is. So just giving instructions to the Wolves players, the Olympic gold medal winning coach with the Hockey Roos, who's heavily involved with the defensive coaching at Westside Wolves, as Battarini gets the final quarter underway. Goals have been hard to come by for Fremantle, just 49 in 22 matches. And they had the lowest goal difference in the top 5 teams. And there's a little push in the back on Tate. And you just wonder whether Fremantle have the firepower to find a goal. McCormick, good little shimmy from him. Almost fooled Gavranich, but not totally. Gavranich was, I think, aware that it was going to be a dummy. Gavranich comes across again to close down McCormick. McCormick again forced to go backwards. Gavranich got a touch. McCormick, though, eventually gets away, finds Battarini inside the circle. Battarini advances on goal. The ball was taken away from him. Penalty corner. Well, that was good play. And Fremantle have their 7th penalty corner of the match. The big question is, can they turn it into a goal? Well, it's going to take something special to beat George McGeoch and the defensive line. Defenders just talking to the umpire, Will Bias, in deep conversation. I think just making sure the goal is in the right position. So Butterini and Tate, top of the circle for Fremantle. As a hush comes around the Perth Hockey Stadium. Only Tate there. Tate flicks, and I think there was an obstruction from one of the Fremantle players. That's why the free hit has gone the way of Westside Wolves. So almost desperation tactics. Barton, who's been just so aggravating to the defence of Fremantle, gets another free hit for his side. McCormick stepping out, caught his foot though, so it will be free hit to Wolves. Just being told to stop the ball. Charlesworth trying to get on with things just a little bit too quickly. Charlesworth goes on, sounded like a stick tackle there from Tate, but it's in fact Charlesworth who's penalised for shielding the ball with his stick. The 18-year-old who was captain of Christchurch Grammar. Also, by all accounts, a very good cricketer, named after his great-grandfather. It's broken for Westside Wolves. Gavranich, though, dispossessed. That was some tackle coming in from Josh White. That could well save Fremantle's season, but trying to get inside the circle, desperation, getting to the baseline, pulls it back. There's a desperate tackle again. That was good play by Matthew Edgar for Wolves. He's kept the attack alive. It's again not cleared properly by Fremantle. Goes wide. Gavranich flicks it, and it's gone wide of the post. Well, that was really good from Wolves. Edgar was superb. Gavranich, well, just the wrong side of the post. Right idea maybe to go high. .16 has been given. Ball played into the midfield. Lucas Ward collects and turns and tries to pull away from McPherson. He continues his run, gets the return pass. Ward now on the forehand, plays it square into the circle. Riley Folds clears it, only though as far as Spencer. Spencer does well, tries to just dink the ball forward. It's won back by Barton. Then it's McPherson. McPherson has won the ball and he's got a free hit. I think he would have probably liked to have kept going in that stage, because there were just green fields ahead of him. Still 11.5 minutes left in this elimination final. Fremantle desperately searching for a goal. Wolves, well, you wouldn't say they're clinging on at the moment. They've been actually defending really well. Butterini loses out. Good tackle again from Will Bias. Ball collected, though, by Joe Kenny. Kenny forced wide. Played it. It looked as if he played it into the shins of Kieran Abbott. Plays on. Abbott gives chase, and eventually it goes off him over the side. Played on again by Kenny. Kenny wants to drive forward. Gets to the baseline. Just looked as if it caught Josh White's stick, and is indeed a long corner to the Wolves. Fraser Gilly, oh dear, he's missed that, and that's going to run out of play. And those are the mistakes that start to creep in as the tension builds. Chad Giles plays on straight away from the side. Self passes, he leaves it behind, which gave the chance for Alistair Park to steal it back. Gilly tries to launch another attack, got the return pass, played it off the shins of the low down Andrew Walker. Charlesworth feeds Gilly. Wanted the return pass, and he's going to get it. It's into space, but Josh White well, he was forced to play that by good work from Oscar Charlesworth. And that is some pass from the corner. Really good pass to pick out Harrison Keema. Well, he's got the free hit. Clear obstruction. Josh White, though, what a pass it was. Now Butterini, he's good work out of the sun. That would not have been easy to pick up. Butterini along the base. So Butterini plays it across the face of goal. McPherson, he's put it wide. His stick goes in the air in frustration. Well, was that the opportunity? And is that the end of Fremantle's season? Well, there's still plenty of time left. 9.5 minutes, but that was the best opportunity they've created. Suddenly they won possession back again. Orchard feeds Butterini, but he can't bring it under control. And the Fremantle fans beginning to find their voice. People on the far side are shielding their eyes as the sun drops behind the grandstand. And the free hit played by Alistair Park into the foot of Kieran Abbott, and not surprisingly taking their time to get the ball and take the free hit. This is where the umpires need to get control, to really watch how long it takes to take these free hits. Comes wide to Fraser Gilly again. Butterini ahead of him. Goes back into the defensive line. Played square by Will Bias. Park. Good turn coming from Tom Keating. Keating again with a good pass forward. Good work coming from Gavranich. Gavranich trying to get towards the circle. Gets the free hit. And of course Fremantle, as they want to keep pushing forward to try and find a goal, they've also got to defend. Gavranich again gets inside the circle, tries to spin, looking for a foot, didn't get one. Breaking forward, Gavranich threw himself ahead of McCormick. Lucky to get away with that, in my opinion. And Tate will bring that down. This is danger now. Oh, dear me. Just caught the body. Couldn't see on the far side. Umpire perfectly placed. No complaints from Nick Tate. Alistair Park. And Keating gets the free hit again. I think the foul this time coming from Keema, or Orchard asking what it was for, or certainly having a conversation with the umpire. Kenny. Through the legs he goes of McCormick, and he'll win another free hit wide on the left-hand side. We are halfway through the final quarter, into the circle. Oh, well, the ball apparently did not go 5 meters before it was into the circle. Fraser Gilly with a little bump on Orchard. Orchard plays it through the gap, but there's nobody there for Fremantle. Comes wide now to James Bonetti. James Bonetti helps it down the line. Chance for Barton. Barton plays it forward. He's won a free hit again. Elliot Barton has been so lively for Wolves this afternoon. He's never stopped running. Tate can't get the better of Charlesworth. Charlesworth gets a free hit for Wolves. Charlesworth takes it towards the corner as it has to go 5 meters. Gavranich was there. Good defense though from Riley Folds. Just putting himself and his body between the goal and the player. And now it's Fremantle's ball. The sound inside the stadium just lifts another notch as their fans try to spur them on. They would desperately like to see the Magpies back on Thursday. Wolves fans, I have to say, are being outshouted at the moment. Maybe that's just the desperation as the match is ebbing away. Carried forward by White, closed down by Harding, had to go to Orchard. There's a little bit of movement wide on the left from Lawler. Thrown to the air, Park came across and put it over the side before it found Butterini. So Butterini will play on from the side for Fremantle. Self passes, good pass to the baseline. Tim Bottler closed down. Bottler kept possession and then is penalised. I think the umpire signalling for a back of the stick, or it was either back of the stick or obstruction, stick obstruction. So just shielding the ball from the defender with his stick. Well, Dane Gavranich now with just the keeper to beat. The keeper's up under him and a stroke being given. Well, Durst is going to be penalised for that. And the conversation continues, claiming that the ball was pushed past the goalkeeper. And therefore, Durst took the player out. So now there is a chance for Wolves, you would think, to seal it as There's only 5 minutes left, and Dane Gavranich stepping forward to take responsibility and try and convert the penalty corner that he won. So Gavranich versus Durst. And he sent it the wrong way. And so it is a second goal for Westside Wolves, and you would feel with a defence as solid as theirs, that may well be the ball game. There are 5 minutes left in the match. So they scored in the 4th and they've scored in the 55th. And the goalkeeper has been pulled by Fremantle, so they've gone to an extra outfield player. And just a reminder, there are no kicking fullbacks these days. So there are no goalkeeping privileges for any player on the pitch. So Fremantle cannot lose possession. And that caught the foot there of Kenny. But 2 goals now in the last 4 minutes is a very steep hill, if it's not a mountain. McPherson picks the ball up, drops it down, and again, it's thrown into the air, and it was blocked by Bottler. Butterini gets it in. Unfortunately, it goes behind Tate. It'll be another long corner, just a touch. Well, Bottler just threw his stick up as the overhead pass was thrown. It comes wide now, and that's good anticipation by Charlesworth. I thought it came off his knees personally, and Fremantle thought the same, I think. But the free hit goes the way of the Westside Wolves. Again, they throw it forward, and the arguments continue amongst the players. Apologise if you happen to pick up any of the strong language there. White plays it down the line, manages to get to Butterini. Butterini looks to go inside bias, feeds it to Spencer, tries to get the return pass. And, well, what's the umpire signalled for here? Is it a free hit to Fremantle just outside the circle? The arguments continue. When your season is on the line, not surprisingly, the emotion comes into it. Played wide to McCormick. McCormick to the baseline. Riley Foles looks to fire it across the circle. Flicked away by Lucas Ward towards the goal. And a penalty corner is given. And McPherson, I think, has got a question for the umpire. And the umpire's just turned his back. Well, that doesn't help. Well, I do think you must always listen to the captain. You shouldn't turn your back if the captain is approaching you. He felt it was a straight, that the defender had gone down on one knee when it hit him. But it is a penalty corner for Fremantle. 3 minutes, 17 seconds left on the clock. A goal now will give us a real grandstand finish. But Wolves have defended superbly. Butterini waits at the top of the circle. Alongside him, Tate. Comes out, goes to Tate. Tate fires it, it's there. The deflection in front of him was a really good one. I think it was Orchard got the final touch. And Fremantle have got a goal back. Well, the question is, can they find a second? They've left it very, very late. Well, they've got to get possession. It's Wolves with possession at the moment. Barton continuing to frustrate, leaves the ball behind. Will Bias comes forward. The ball is thrown to the air, brought down inside the circle, trying to weave his way towards goal. Barton, and a penalty corner has been given, and Fremantle questioning what for. And there's quizzical looks as Matthew Edgar wins the penalty corner for Westside Wolves. Must admit, I did think there was a stick check in there as he dribbled his way towards goal. So Fremantle, with no goalkeeper, have got to keep this out. Wolves with their 5th penalty corner of the match. Can they finally put this game to bed? No Simon Benetti out there. Dane Gavranich waits. And alongside Gavranich is Will Bias. Will Bias at the first battery, Gavranich at the second. Goes to Bias. Bias flicks low. Bias scores. And that, you feel sure, will seal the game for Westside Wolves. Will Bias, all he had to do really was hit the target with pace. And he did just that. So less than a minute after Fremantle's goal, Westside Wolves come back and get one themselves. So we've got the 4 goals in a match. We said they normally average 5 when these two teams meet. And that's going to break for Fremantle. Riley Folds, surely not. Into the circle it goes, the defence, it goes off the stick in the end of Alistair Park. Long corner to Fremantle. Just under 2 minutes left in the match now. Comes back to McCormick. McCormick plays it square to Josh White. Josh White closed down by the Barton as ever. Oh, they're waiting for the ball. The clock continues to tick down as Josh White gets the ball. Can go directly into the circle. He does, but nowhere near a Fremantle player. And once more, trying to throw it to the air. Charlesworth didn't get it under control, so White did. Plays it forward. Orchard is there. Orchard tries to dribble his way towards the circle. He lifted it too high into the body of Joe Kenny. And again, just slowing things down. Played infield. That should be Fremantle's ball. There was too many players pushing forward for Wolves, and they got caught. Nick Tate, that's a great pass forward, but brilliant defence as well by Alistair Park. And also great cleaning up at the back as Wolves dribble it into the corner. We're into the final minute. Played forward to Kenny. Kenny surrounded by black and white shirts. Keeps possession well. Managed to find the foot. And that free hit will give the match, you feel, to Wolves as they just launch it forward. Will Bias throws it over the top. Brought down well. And this time it is the Edgar coming into the Wolves player, coming into that 5 metres. Cutting infield is Walker. Walker got a stick check there, so it'll be another free hit. Clock, though, continues to count down. Nick Tate over the ball for Fremantle. Needs to stop it. Barton again being told to be 5. Comes to Riley Folds. Folds tries to play it into the circuit. Goes off the stick of Alistair Park. And there will be no time for the long corner. And Fremantle's season is indeed over. Westside Wolves will be playing Wasps on Thursday night to keep their season alive. But what a painful season it's been for Fremantle. Top of the ladder at one point and in such strong form. And then finally, their season has finished. But credit to Wolves, their defence was immense tonight. And they are the victors by 3 goals to 1.